I am Dr. Said Ammar Nakshawani, and this message is brought to you by the Muhsin and Fawziya Ja'far Foundation.
Why are there so many sects and denominations within the religion of Islam? Non-Muslims sometimes are perplexed by the fact that when you meet a Muslim, they'll describe themselves as Muslim Sunni, or Muslim Shia, or Muslim Sufi, or Muslim Salafi, or Muslim Diobendi, or Muslim Brelwi, Muslim Hanafi, Muslim Maliki, Muslim Shafi'i, Muslim Hanbali, Muslim Ja'fari, Muslim Zaidi, Muslim Ismaili. When you hear the names of all of these sects, question arises all the time. That's why can everybody not be known as Muslim? There are some who will not label themselves with any sect. They'll call themselves Muslim and nothing more than that. But when we look at the possible answers, a few come to mind. First and foremost, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had already foretold that the religion would actually be split into sects. And he gives an interesting context by saying that Judaism and Christianity have also been split into sects before the religion of Islam. Judaism, a person may see, for example, someone following a traditional path, an orthodox path, a path of reform. In Christianity, sometimes you may hear of different groupings. We may not necessarily label each of these as sects or denominations, but sometimes I meet a Christian, they tell me I'm Catholic. I meet another Christian, they tell me I'm Protestant. I meet another Christian, Russian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, Seventh-day Adventists, Latter-day Saints, Jehovah's Witnesses. So therefore, even in religions that preceded the religion of Islam, there were a number of splinter groups, a number of sects, a number of denominations. One cannot just point at the religion of Islam and say, look at all you Muslims. You are a religion which is split into so many sects. There are religions that have come before us. And generally, you'll find even any ideology that emerges in a particular period can then later on blossom into different groupings. There are people who may follow a particular outlook on secularism or on feminism, which may have been different from the original outlook of the founding father or the founding mother of that particular ideology. On the second level, naturally, when there are different opinions which are posited regarding what was meant by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family, then there's a chance that people will go into their different groupings. Mankind may go into different groupings for different reasons, sometimes selfish, sometimes unselfish, sometimes sincere, sometimes insincere. And so therefore, after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family dies, there are people who are looking for worldly power. There are others looking for heavenly bliss. There are some who prefer interpretations that may suit a particular tribal path. There are others who are sincere enough to look for an interpretation that may be different from their own. So on the second level, you've got the fact that different people had different opinions and different understandings regarding what the prophetic message was. In the same way that people had a difference of opinion with the way Moses may have elaborated on a certain concept or Christ on another, likewise the same occurs with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family. On the third level, and let's be very frank about this, we're living 1400 years after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family passed away. 1400 years later, there is a good chance that the further away you are from the period of revelation, there is more scope for more interpretations, there is more scope for more people to speak on behalf of the religion, and there is more scope for people to adhere to these people if they resonate with them. From there, therefore, there may be people who emerge who a particular denomination may be named after, but who originally go back to one main denomination. So if a person looks at Salafism, Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, Ibn Taymiyyah, you may all go back towards an Ahmad bin Hanbal path towards the pious predecessors. If a person may, for example, look at other sects, for example, if a person looks at the Sufi way of life, there may still be a return to a particular scholarly figure who in turn returns back to the path of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family. I'm not saying one is wrong or the other's right. Rather, what we're trying to show is that as a person is further away from the origin of the revelation, they may ascribe to themselves or hold on to a particular grouping which they feel can make them relate to the original message. In many cases, you'd hope that these sects are sincere in their way, and ultimately these sects have to sit on the tables of dialogue. There have been many wonderful initiatives of intra-faith dialogue where people can come together with their different opinions in their sects, be it legal or theological, and try and find common denominators. Common denominators which exist much more than the differences between these groups. Thank you for listening to this broadcast, and we invite your feedback for continued dialogue.